Okay, g'day guys, welcome to Hargrave High Performance. So today we're going to go over the back squat. So we're going to break the back squat down for beginners, and I'm going to teach you how we're going to go from a starting progression of the back squat and how we're going to build up into a full range back squat over time. So some key considerations for the back squat when we're starting is going to be your range of motion. So it's very difficult for most people to actually get a full range back squat due to potential issues through the shoulders, the hips, and through the knee and the ankle range of motion. So what we're going to do today is we're going to break down how we can simplify those positions and how we can actually break down extra exercises to execute any of those areas we might be weaker in outside of the back squat to help improve that lift. So first thing, very important, if you look at the shoes that I'm wearing today, which is similar to most people, they're quite cushioned and thick from the bottom. So we want to flick those off straight away. So it's important when we're doing any of your compound lifts, particularly the back squat, that we've got a really good, strong feel of contact through the ground from our feet to keep us balanced. So we'll go barefoot to start. As we work our way up, the second thing is going to be to set ourselves up at 90 degrees. So our strongest position with the squat is when our spine stays in a nice neutral or just stable position through the squat. That's how we're going to generate the most strength and power. So for a lot of people, due to hip tension, we struggle, or ankles, we struggle to maintain that position without arching or bending the back forward. So most people, like we know, we sit at 90 degrees, we're able to hold that nice comfortable position there. So we'll just get a box at 90 to start with, and over time we can work our way closer towards the ground. The next thing will be the use of a band. So a lot of weaknesses we'll see around the back squat will be through deficiencies in glute strength. So the band allows us just below the knee. If we work against it through the squat, we drive against, it will give us that strength and stability through those key core areas that we need for the back squat. The next thing is going to be your bar setup position. So just make it nice and easy so we can get the bar off. So I like to set it up so it's just underneath shoulder height. So when we come up underneath the bar and we rack the bar, cool, I can just step back nice and easy. If it's too low, we essentially almost have to do a squat to get out. And if it's too high, we're going to have to pop the bar over the top. So we just want a nice, comfortable position. The next thing is going to be our setup for the squat. So when we're going to grab the barbell or when we're working into the squat, today we're going to talk about breaking down each of the segments. So you need to create stiffness through the whole body. You've got the upper body stiffness through the shoulders. You've got the trunk stiffness. We've got stiffness through our core sort of glute pelvic area. And then we've got the knee and the ankles that we're going to break down each of these positions. Okay, so important with our rack position that we're creating as much stiffness and tension through the upper back to create a nice tight shelf for the bar to sit on. So we want to try and get as close as we can with the hands to the rough to the smooth, but making sure when we do this that the elbows are strong underneath the wrists. We're not flared out from the back and the shoulders aren't diving forward. So from here, we want to go knuckles to the ceiling, elbows to the ground, and we squeeze the shoulders nice and tight. From there, we stand up and we maintain that strong position. We'll just take one step back. Think of it like a triangle. One back, two back, and then we just get a third little shuffle to set us up with our feet just outside the shoulders. Now, everyone's width is going to be a little bit different. So essentially just try and find a position that's going to be almost like what you would be when you jump and you land. My toes will sit on a bit of a 45-degree angle. We lock the hip, big brace at your stomach, and then big toe, small toe, heel. We grip 3 points of the foot. From there, it's about just making sure that the weight stays in the middle of your foot. So feel that point of the foot, and we just keep driving the hips open against the band. Pause from the bottom, and then come up, squeeze your bum, lock nice and strong. So the 3 points we focus on is locking through the bum, bracing through the core and squeezing the shoulder, and then we get big toe, small toe, heel of the hip. From there, focus on staying through the midfoot and driving your knees out. And naturally, the bar will end up staying in that midpoint of your foot, and you'll stay nice and balanced. Okay, so then when we've got the bar, it's always about trying to think three things. Keep it simple. You've got the hips, so we lock the bum, big brace of your core. we've got the shoulders where we squeeze those elbows down, squeeze in the rack, and then we go big toe, small toe heel with the feet. Nice and strong, just stay in the middle of your foot. So if I grip the big toe, small toe heel and drive my hips out against the band, naturally, we'll stay through the middle of the foot. So it doesn't matter, we don't need to think about pushing the hips too far back, pushing the knees too far forward. If you just stay balanced through the midfoot, your body will move those limbs as far back or as far over as they need to go. So everyone's going to have different leg lengths, femur lengths, so the length of your upper leg, different torso lengths, how far back your hips need to move, knee needs to go over. It's going to be very different. A really simple cue that we love to use here is just if you can stay through that midfoot and open the hips up, naturally, those angles will start to form themselves. Okay, so if we look at the back squat and we start to break down each of those mechanics, so from the foot to the knee, to the hip, to the trunk, and to the shoulder, now we're going to have a look at little exercises that we can do to better perfect each of those positions, which is going to help you better execute the back squat and over time, obviously allow you to get more range and more load through the lift. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is the stability through your foot position. So we talk about having the 3 points of contact, the ball of your big toe, ball of your pinky toe, and your heel is our tripod setup. Essentially what we want to try and do through the squat is have that grip position nice and strong, but externally rotate, so open the hip up as much as we can to try and allow us to get that really good deep range. So a good drill we're going to work into is called a foot clock, or we're just going to do a variation where we'll go back and forward, but we're going to try and balance through that ball, the big toe, pinky toe, heel, grip through the foot and load the calf, and then we're just going to squat forward as far as we can, and then the knee will stay bent. We're going to try and go back as far as we can. And let's see if we can try and maintain the 3 points of the foot on the ground as the focus. So we'll do this for a full 30 seconds. So you're going to get a lot of quad and a lot of glute with this. And I definitely recommend using the stick, but if you're more advanced and you're happy to go a little bit deeper with it, cool, we can really try and push and go a little bit more on the balance. But we'll do 30 seconds there. And again, so 3 points of contact on the left now. And you just go back and forward with that knee, with the hip, sorry. So forward here and then backwards. Just keep trying to open up that range. You'll get a lot of burning through the muscles, but the focus again is at the 3 points stay on the ground. So just make sure we're not wobbling and we're getting the heel off the floor, whatever. That focus is getting that nice, strong, stable position for the squat. Okay, so now we'll start working our way up the body. We'll try and work on a little bit more of the external rotation. So strength through the glutes, which will allow us to get that really good, strong, deep position and nice, stable trunk position for the squat. So we're going to work into a position called a seated external rotation. So fantastic drill. You'll need a band. And then we're going to work into is trying to go as deep as we can whilst not allowing our spine posture to change. So I'll show you this from two angles. So set up in your squat stance, keep one hand on your back, one hand on your stomach, and we're just going to squat down again. So we've got the foot position nice and strong. From that deep posture, I'm feeling my back so I know it hasn't changed. I'm in the deepest position I can be without myself hunching or holding strong. And I'm going to perform external rotation so that at no point does the knee go inside the toe, do my feet come off the ground, but I'm screwing. So I'm going to get a lot of strength in the quad, but I'm really feeling that bum tighten up, which will allow me to get that range. So if you look at my back posture here, I'm holding nice and strong. I'm going to go deep for that position. Some of you might only get to 90 degrees or higher, that's fine. We sit from this spot here and we go 30 reps, nice and strong, and you'll really get those glutes firing, which is just going to get you in a nice, strong, deep position for the squat. The last drill we're going to work on is for our shoulder stability. So I spoke earlier about making sure that the bar sits where the wrists are directly on top of the elbow from this position here. So due to a lot of tension through the pecs, through the chest, most of the time we get stuck in this position where the shoulder's diving forward. So we can actually, not only is this unstable, but we're going to put a lot of stress through the front of the shoulder, which is unnecessary for the squat. We want to try and be a nice, strong position from here. So this drill we'll do from the ground. And what you need is just something to prop your elbows up. And you're going to sit the elbows in the same position that would be from the back squat. So I'm just going to set the mic here. Okay, so from here, your elbows will set up on the plates, head's flat down, and then we're going to drive the elbows into the plates. Squeezing as far as we can and then controlling on the way down. And you should really feel more of the back of the shoulder starting to fire up. So through this position here, which in time will open up the chest and allow us to sit in that nice, good, strong position under the bar. So anywhere from around 20 to 30 reps for that position. Okay, so there it is. Now you know how to back squat. So biggest tip in terms of volume or how we're going to program this is to keep your volumes high and your weights quite low, just while you're starting to execute the exercise. So try and work in anywhere to 3 or 4 sets of 10 when you're performing the exercise, and then keep the weights low. So everyone's going to be very different with this, but I like to say, imagine like you've got 3 reps left, 3 repetitions, so 3 actions of the squat left before you fail. So don't never work to failure when we're trying to learn an exercise. Always keep a couple left in the tank. Now you're able to back squat. If we want to start to utilize this a little bit heavier, you guys have got full access to any of our lower body exercises or lower body sessions. So make sure you click here to follow the link and you'll get a full body strength session, which includes a back squat in.